It's Cleveland Indians baseball. We're at Cleveland Stadium today as the Indians take on the first place in the American League West, Chicago White Sox. The White Sox are a half game ahead of Oakland. This is game two of a three-game series against the White Sox. Last night, the Indians took a 2-1 lead into the eighth inning against Chicago, and Steve Hargan in relief got roughed up, and the White Sox ended up beating the Indians 4-2. After a four-game winning streak, Cleveland has now lost their last two in a row. Indians reserve catcher Ken Suarez hurt his hand, and he is day-to-day right now. So if the Indians come across and need another catcher, it will be Chuck Hinton. Jim Magnuson starts for Chicago. He's made five starts. On the year, he is 0-2 with an ERA of 5.52. This is his first start against Cleveland. Ray Lamb pitches for Cleveland. He's made eight starts. He's 2-10 with an ERA of 6.11. This is his first start against Chicago. It's 79 degrees, and we have wind speed of 5 miles per hour in from right field. So the wind would be coming in from downtown and not from off the lake. Starting lineup for the White Sox will be leading off the first baseman Carlos May, batting second the right fielder Walt Williams, batting third the second baseman Mike Andrews, batting fourth the third baseman Bill Melton, batting fifth the left fielder Rick Reichart, batting sixth the center fielder Jay Johnstone, batting seventh the shortstop Rich Morales, batting eighth the catcher Ed Herman, and on the mound Jim Magnuson. On defense, Cleveland will have Chris Chambliss at first base, Lou Camilli at second, Fred Stanley at shortstop, Greg Nettles at third, Frank Baker in left, Ted Uhlaender in center, Roy Foster in right. Third string catcher Chuck Hinton will be starting behind the plate, and on the mound Ray Lamb. Ray Lamb has been something of a forgotten pitcher since Johnny LaPont started. This is his first appearance in 2 weeks. His last time out, he started and pitched a complete game against Washington, winning 2-1. He has a record of 2-10 with an ERA of 6.11. He has pitched 101 and two-thirds innings, giving up 124 hits. He has walked 64 and struck out 72. He's a fastball pitcher. Keeps the ball low. I have to admit that of all the members of the Indians so far this season, I think he has been the biggest disappointment. Leading off for Chicago will be Carlos May. He's hitting .335 with 10 home runs and 48 runs batted in. Here's the first pitch. Ball one. Ball two. It's a base hit into right field. Foster's up with it and throws it back in. Carlos May continues his hot hitting against Cleveland. Let's see what he's doing. 16 for 43 against the Indians, hitting .372. Yeah, I would say he's pretty hot. Here's Walt Williams, the right fielder. He's hitting .304, 12 home runs, 45 runs batted in. Spoiler alert, future member of the Cleveland Indians. Lamb throws first, and May is back. Another throw to first. He's safe. He's hitting .417 against Cleveland. That's Walt Williams. There goes May. He is safe. That was ball one. It's a slow bouncer to the pitcher. Lamb throws, but the throw is high. Chambliss couldn't get. Williams is safe at first, and May scores so that White Sox jump out to a 1-0 lead. Here is the second baseman, Mike Andrews. He's hitting .244. 3 home runs and 30 runs batted in. White Sox regular second baseman Rich McKinney is away on military duty right now. Andrews is hitting .171 in August. Too low, ball one. There goes Williams. He's safe. And that pitch was a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Williams go for third. Head first slide. He's out. Excuse me. Looks like they decided ahead of time they are going to try to run wild on Chuck Hinton's arm. The 1-2 pitch to Andrews. High and inside, ball 2. Base hit in the left field. Here is Bill Melton. He's hitting .286 with 25 home runs, 84 runs batted in. He hit a solo home run last night against Mark Ballinger in the 9th inning. That raised the score to 4-2 in favor of the White Sox, and that ended up being the final score. Swing and a miss at a bad pitch. Strike 1. Too low, ball 1. Melton hits a base hit in the left field. Andrews stops at second. Baker got a bad jump on that one. Runners on first and second. 1 out. Here is Rick Reichert. Reichert's hitting .293, 18 home runs, 76 runs batted in. This has been Reichert's best season since 1966, before he had to have an operation to have a kidney removed. He's hitting .347 in August. He was never the same player after that operation. Strike 2 called. High and outside, ball one. Strike three called. Strikeout number one for Ray Lamb. Here is Jay Johnstone. He's hitting .248, 8 home runs, 25 runs batted in. High and inside, ball one. Ball two. Caught the inside part of the plate, strike one. Foul tip, strike two. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Low and inside, just off the ground. Ball 3, full count. The payoff pitch. Hits fly ball in right field. Foster drifting back. But it's made the seats. Foul ball. Fouls it back. I got to check something really quick here. I'm sorry. All right. Fouls it back. Count remains full. Hits a slow roller to third. Nettles up with it. Throw to first. 3 outs. The White Sox get 1 unearned run, 3 hits, 1 error. They left 2 on base. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Chicago 1, Cleveland coming to bat. And I have to take a quick timeout. This is WJST in Parma, Norwich, Tuscaloosa, and Utah. And we're back. I had to get myself a refreshing can of Rocket Fuel malt liquor. Bottom of the first, and here is the Indians starting lineup today. Leading off the left fielder, Frank Baker. Batting second, the second baseman, Lou Camilli. Playing in place of the injured Eddie Leone, who was on the disabled list. Batting third, the third baseman, Greg Nettles. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Roy Foster. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Chris Chambliss. Batting sixth, the catcher, Chuck Hinton. Batting seventh, the shortstop, Fred Stanley. Batting eighth, the center fielder, Ted Uhlaender. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Ray Lamb. On defense, the White Sox have Carlos May at first base, Mike Andrews at second, Rich Morales at short, Bill Melton at third, Rick Reichard in left, Jay Johnstone in center, Walt Williams in right, Ed Herman catching, and on the mound, Jim Magnuson. Magnuson has a record of 0-2 with an ERA of 5.52. He has pitched 31 innings, given up 37 hits. One of those was a home run. He has walked 19 and struck out 12. Magnuson's been a spot starter this year. He appeared in 10 games last year, and this is his 15th game this year. So I think technically he would be considered a rookie. Frank Baker leads off for the Indians. He's hitting .212, 2 home runs, and 25 runs batted in. He's hitting .122 against lefties. The 0-2 pitch, grounder to third. Melton is up with it to throw to first. 1 out. Here is Lou Camilli. He's hitting .248. No home runs, 9 runs batted in. Coming into this year, Millie had a couple of very short appearances with the Indians in 1969 and 1970 where he went 1 for 54. This year, though, he's hitting 248, but he's really made a lot of noise as a pinch hitter where he's hitting 500. He is 12 for 24 as a pinch hitter with 3 doubles. And right now he is starting in place of the injured Eddie Leon. The 3-1 pitch. Fly ball in the left field. Reichert is there and he has it. 2 outs. Here's Greg Nettles. He's a candidate for MVP this year. He is hitting 285, 34 home runs, 103 runs batted in. Leads the majors in RBI. He's still the only major leaguer with over 100 RBIs. And the only major leaguer who has more home runs this year than Nettles is Henry Aaron, who has 35. Nettles leads the American League in home runs. Here's the 2-0 pitch. It's fly ball in left field. Reichert drifting back, and he has it. 3 outs. Nothing across for Cleveland in the top of the first. We played 1. It is Chicago 1, Cleveland nothing. Leading off for Chicago in the second will be Rich Morales, the shortstop. He's hitting 265, 3 home runs, and 21 runs batted in. The 2-2 pitch. Hits a shallow fly ball into center field. Uhlaender coming in. And he's got it. And Morales looks like he pulled up lame. They're leading him back to the dugout. Here's Ed Herman, the number 8 hitter in the lineup. He's hitting 219 with 15 home runs and 50 runs batted in. He's hitting 321 against Cleveland. The 2-0 pitch, grounder to first. Nettles tosses to Lamb, covering. 2 outs. And here's the pitcher, Jim Magnuson. He's hitting 250. He's 1 for 4 as a hitter. The 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Nothing across for Chicago in the top of the second. We go to the bottom of the second. Steve Hunt's coming into play shortstop. Hunt's came over from San Diego for some additional infield insurance because the White Sox knew that they would be losing McKinney for about 3 weeks. Leading off for Cleveland is the cleanup hitter, Roy Foster. He's hitting 242 with 15 home runs and 53 runs batted in. He's hitting 382 against Chicago. The 0-2 pitch, fly ball in center field. Johnstone drifts back, and he's got it. 1 out. Here's Chris Chambliss, the first baseman, the leading candidate for Rookie of the Year in the American League. It'll probably come down to between him and Angel Manguel of Oakland. Chambliss is hitting 290 with 10 home runs and 35 runs batted in. He was slated to be the Indians' opening day starter, but he got hurt in spring training. So he went back to Wichita. He was the Rookie of the Year in the American Association last year. Then he got hurt playing with Wichita. Was called up to Cleveland in the middle of May and was finally able to make his debut with the Indians on May 28th. In his second game with Cleveland against the Chicago White Sox, he went 4 for 4. And he has been playing well ever since then. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball, strike 3 called. Strikeout number 1 for Magnuson. Here is Chuck Hinton, the catcher. He's hitting .211. 2 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Hinton has spent most of this season as a pinch hitter. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 up and 3 down. We played 2 in Cleveland. It is Chicago 1, Cleveland nothing. Carlos May leads off for Chicago in the third. He is 1 for 1. He singled back in the first. Full count. It's a liner down the left field line. That's fair. That's in the corner. That'll be extra bases. May in the second, he slides. He's safe. That's his 13th double of the year. Here is Walt Williams. He's 0 for 1. He was safe on an error. And May scored, and so far that's been the only run of the game. Swing and a miss, strike 1. It's a bunt. Nettles throws to Camilli, covering second. Williams is out, and May takes third on the sacrifice. Here's Mike Andrews. He's 1 for 1. He singled in the first. Hits a fly ball in the right field. Foster's there. He's got it. May trying to score. The throw. He is safe. He slid and beat the tag. It is 2-0 Chicago. Here is Bill Melton. He is 1 for 1. He singled in the first. Wasn't sure if May was going to try running. Foster's got a good arm out there. The 3-1 pitch. Pops it up, third base side. Nettles is after it, but it makes the seats. Full count, 2 outs. He hits a fly ball in the right field. Foster's on the warning track, and he's got it. But the White Sox get 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, no one left. We go to the bottom of this third. It is Chicago 2, Cleveland nothing. Fred Stanley leads off. He's hitting .285, 4 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Like Chambliss, he's having an excellent rookie year. I believe on my last broadcast, I said that Stanley was injured and was slumping ever since he got back. We did a little reading up and discovered that he was not injured. He was away on military duty. So my apologies to Fred Stanley. But he has been slumping since he came back. He's hitting .118 in August. The 0-2 pitch. Grounder second. Andrews has it. 1 out. Here's Ted Uhlaender, the center fielder. He's hitting .288, 2 home runs, 39 runs batted in. The 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. He is first base runner for the Indians today. Here's the pitcher, Ray Lamb. He's hitting .136. No home runs, no runs batted in. He's 3 for 22 on the year. Playing him for the bunt. He lays one down. May throws the Hunts at second. Got Uhlaender. Wanted that one a little too hard. Lamb's on first. 2 outs. Here's Frank Baker, who's 0 for 1. He grounded out in the first inning. Outside and low, ball 1. Right at the knees, strike 1. Ball 2. Low, ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs, runner on first. Curveball, ball 4. That's his second walk. We have runners on first and second. 2 outs, and here's Luke Camilli, who's 0 for 1. He flied out to right guard in the first inning. Strike 1 called. Ball 1. The 1-1 pitch. Low, ball 2. Fouls it back. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men on, 2 outs. Hits it up the middle. Hunts to his left, has it. Throw to first, 3 outs. No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 left. We go to the 4th inning. It is Chicago 2, Cleveland nothing. Take a look around the league. We got 2 scores for you right now. In the bottom of the 2nd in Cincinnati. Pirates and Reds tied at 1 apiece. That is Bruce Kison against Gary Nolan. And the top of the 4th in Detroit, the Brewers lead the Tigers 1-0. That's Bill Parsons against Fred Sherman. Guest commentator Allie Jr. has fallen asleep. In the top of the 4th for Chicago, it will be Reichert, Johnstone, and Hunts. Rick Reichert is 0 for 1. He struck out in the first inning. The 0-2 pitch. Right down the middle, strike 3. Strikeout number 3 for Ray Lamb. He got fooled on that changeup. Here's Jay Johnstone. He's 0 for 1. He grounded the Nettles in the first inning. The 2-0 pitch. It's fly ball in right field. Foster has it. 2 outs. Foster's been busy today. It's his 3rd put out. And he nearly had an assist when May scored. It was very close. Here is Steve Hunts. This is his first at bat as a member of the Chicago White Sox. Ball 4. Throw to first. He's back. Here's Ed Herman. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to Chambliss in the 2nd inning. Ball 1. Pitch out. Nobody's moving. 2 balls, no strikes. Too high, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Strike 2, that was called a little late. Ball 4. Second walk given up by Lamb, and here is Jim Magnuson. He struck out in the second inning. Got the outside corner, strike 1. It's fly ball in the left field. Baker's there, and he's got it. 3 outs. No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Chicago 2, Cleveland nothing. Greg Nettles leads off for Cleveland. He's 0 for 1 today. He flied out the left in the first. It's a grounder to first. May up with it. Tosses to Magnuson covering. 1 out. Here is Roy Foster. He's 0 for 1. He flied out to center in the second. The 2-0 pitch. Pops it up. Herman's under it. And he had to make a nice dive for that one. Looks like he might have lost sight of that and then had a dive for it. 2 outs. Here's Chris Chambliss. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in the second inning. Sitting 316 in August. Full count. Base hit into center field. Chambliss rounds first. Slides into second with a double. Safe. That's the first hit of the game for Cleveland. That's his 18th double of the year. Here's Chuck Hinton. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in the second inning. Fred Stanley's on deck. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Too high, ball 1. High and inside, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Fouls it back, that evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second. It's fly ball in left field. Right guard has it measured. 3 outs. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We played 4 in Cleveland. It is Chicago 2, Cleveland nothing. Carlos May leads off for Chicago. He's 2 for 2. He singled in the first, doubled in the third. He was a big story last year when he came back after losing part of his thumb during military duty. The White Sox weren't sure if he'd be able to play again. And he was Chicago's regular, let's see where he played. He was a regular in their outfield last year. And he hit .256, 4 home runs and 22 runs batted in, and he's having a great year this year. And let me just double check one more thing. I apologize. I should have done this before I started. Yeah, Carlos May is the younger brother of Lee May, who is the first baseman for Cincinnati. The 1-1 pitch. Hard grounder to short. Stanley's up with it. Throw to first. 1 out. Here's Walt Williams. He is 0 for 1. He was safe on an error in the first. That scored May, and he sacrificed bunted in the third. The 1-2 pitch. Base hit in the right field. I was reading the Chicago White Sox were upset by some remarks made by President Richard Nixon. Nixon was talking to a reporter from Chicago asking about the Cubs. And the reporter said, the Cubs aren't having a bad season, but they're nowhere near they're in second place, but they're nowhere near first place Pittsburgh Pirates. Said, but the Chicago White Sox are in first place right now, and Nixon said that the White Sox are a tough team to like. And the White Sox players were not happy to hear about that. Right now, the White Sox are probably the biggest story in the majors because of they're in the only close division race right now, and they finished the season in last place last season. And here they are fighting for a division playoff or division pennant. That caught the inside corner, strike one. It's a fly ball in center field. Uhlaender to his left, has it. 2 outs. Here's Bill Melton. He's 1 for 2. He singled in the first and flied out to Roy Foster in the third. Swing and a miss, strike one on curveball. The 0-1 pitch. Williams got a bad jump on that one. He started to go for second, but stopped himself. Ball one. Swing and a miss, strike two. It's in the dirt all the way to the backstop. Williams takes second. That'll be a wild pitch. It's a blooper to short. But that's right at Fred Stanley. He puts it away. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It is Chicago 2, Cleveland nothing. And Fred Stanley, who made that putout, will lead off the bottom of the 5th. He is 0 for 1. He grounded to Andrews back in the 3rd inning. The 3-1 pitch. Grounder up the middle. Hunts to his left. Has it. Throws him out. 1 out. Here is Ted Uhlaender. He walked in the 3rd inning. The 3-2 pitch. He hits a base hit in the left field. Runner on first, 1 out. Here is Ray Lamb. He bunted into a force out back in the 3rd. Uhlaender was forced at second base. They're playing him the bunt. Herman goes out to talk to Magnuson. Lamb squares the bunt. Lays one down. Melton has it. His only play is the first. Throws to Andrews, and Lamb is out. Uhlaender taking second on the sacrifice. 2 outs. Runner on second. 2 outs. Here is Frank Baker, who's 0 for 1. He grounded to third in the first, and he walked in the 3rd. Fouls it back. Strike one. Got the inside corner edge. Strike two. Ball one. Strike three called. No runs, one hit, no errors, one left. We have played 5. It's an official game here in Cleveland. Chicago 2, Cleveland nothing. Chicago has 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. They've left 5 men on base. Cleveland has no runs, 2 hits, 1 error. They've left 4 men on base. Chicago scored in the first when Carlos May singled and then stole second. And then Williams grounded to Lamb. And Lamb threw past Chambliss for an error, and May scored. That was the first run of the game. And then in the third inning, May led off with a double. Walt Williams sacrificed in the third. And May scored on a sacrifice fly to Foster. Foster's throw, it was close, but not close enough. So Carlos May has scored both runs in this game. In the 6th inning for Chicago, it will be Rick Reichert, Jay Johnstone, and Steve Huntz. Reichert is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice today. The 1-1 pitch. Base hit in the right field. Foster throws it back in. Here's Jay Johnstone. He is 0 for 2. Grounded to third and fly to center. Up and away, ball 1. Too high again, ball 2. High and outside, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Strike 1 call, 3 balls and 1 strike. Strike 2 called, full count. Fly ball down the right field line. Foster's after it. But that makes the seats. Johnstone hits base hit in the left field. Right guard, he'll hold at second. So we have runners at first and second. Nobody out. Here's Steve Huntz. He walked in the 4th inning. High, ball 1. He bunts it back to the mound. Lamb, throw to second. Throw goes into center field. It's his 2nd error today. And that'll load the bases with nobody out. And here is Ed Herman. He is 0 for 1. He grounded to first and he walked. They're going to play the infield in. Just off the ground, ball 1. Ball 2. Ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Got the outside corner, strike 1. Fouls it back, strike 2, full count. Bases loaded, nobody out. Ball 4, that'll force in a run. It's 3-0 Chicago. Vince Colbert gets up to warm up. Here's the pitcher, Jim Magnuson. He's 0 for 2. He struck out and he flied out. He Infield remains in. Swing and a miss, strike one. Too high, ball one. Fouls it back, strike two. Grounder down the first base line, but that's foul. Ball two. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ball three. Fly ball down the left field line, but that is hooking foul. Another bouncer down the third base line. That's foul. Ball 4. That'll force in another run. That makes it 4-0, and it looks like Johnny LaPond has seen enough. That'll be all for Ray Lamb. Vince Colbert's coming in to pitch. This is his 33rd appearance of the year. He is 5-7 with 3 saves. He has an ERA of 5.91. He's given up 135 hits in 96 innings. He has walked 42. He has struck out 53. Here is Carlos May. He is 2 for 3. He singled, doubled, and grounded out. Infield is in. Grounder right back to the mound. Throw to the plate. Huntz is safe. Let's watch that again. Too slow to do anything. Huntz was safe. Bases remain loaded. It's 5-0. Here is Walt Williams. He's 1 for 2. He was safe on an error that scored a run. Had a sacrifice bunt, and he singled in the 5th. Too high, ball 1. In tight, ball 2. Ball 3, 3 balls, no strikes. Ball 4. Third run of the inning. Forced in. On a walk, it's 6-0. Here's Mike Andrews. He's 1 for 2. Singled in the 1st, hit a sacrifice fly in the 3rd, and flied out in the 5th. He's 1 for 8 with the bases loaded. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Too low, ball 1. Bouncer to second. Stanley to second for 1. Throw to first, not in time. Magnuson scores. It's 7-0. And that'll close the book out on Ray Lamb. Lamb pitched 5 innings. He gave up 7 hits, 7 runs. 5 of those were earned. Walked 4, struck out 3. Might have pitched himself right back into Johnny LaPond's doghouse. Here is Bill Melton. He's 1 for 3. He singled in the 1st. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Chicago leads 7-0. Ball one. Inside, ball two. Breaking ball in there at the knees, strike one. Too high, ball three. It's fly ball to left field. Baker on the track. He's got it. May tags. He'll score. It's 8-0. And that run will be charged to Vince Colbert. That's an unearned run. Here's Rick Reichert. He is 1 for 3. He struck out twice and he singled. Swing and a miss, strike one. He had a good swing at that one. Hits base hit in the left field. Baker's up with it. Andrews rounds second. He'll take third. So we have runners at the corners. 2 outs. Jay Johnstone. That was Reichert's second at bat of the inning. So Johnstone, he is the 11th hitter this inning. He's 1 for 3. He singled in the 6th. Too high, ball one. Another one too high, ball two. Johnstone hits fly ball into center field. Eulander drifting back. He's got it. 3 outs. But it was a big inning for Chicago. 6 runs, 3 hits, 1 error. They left 2 men on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It is Chicago 8, Cleveland nothing. Lou Camilli leads off for the Indians. He is 0 for 2. Chuck Tanner, boy, he took a gamble today. Starting Magnuson. And possibly saving Wilbur Wood and Tommy John for Baltimore. The White Sox play Cleveland tomorrow. And then they travel to Baltimore for a 3-game series there starting on Tuesday. That might be a possible postseason preview. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Camilli. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Here's Greg Nettles. He's 0 for 2 today. Nettles, boy, he has 34 home runs. He hit 11 home runs in June. He hit 6 in April, 6 in May, 11 in June, 6 in July. So far, he's hit 5 in August. He's having quite a year. The 1-0 pitch. Base hit in the center field. Nettles, he has played in every inning of every Indians game so far this season. Here is Roy Foster. He's 0 for 2. He flied out and popped out to the catcher. Chambliss is on deck. Too high, ball one. Pops it up in the foul ground. Mays after it, but it makes seats. Low and outside, ball 2. High and outside, ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. Ball 4. Third walk given up by Magnuson. Here's Chris Chambliss. He's 1 for 2 today. He's hitting .325 in August. Ball 2. He doubled back in the 4th. Caught the outside corner. Strike 1. Fouls it back. Herman is after it. But it makes seats. It's fly ball to center field. John Stone's after it. But it drops in for a hit. Nettles had to wait to see if Johnstone was going to catch that. He stopped at third. We have the bases loaded. Here comes Chuck Tanner. That'll be all for Magnuson. He gave a good effort today. Coming in to pitch is Joe Horland, making his 22nd appearance of the season. He has a record of 7-8 with an ERA of 3.35. He has walked 30, struck out 79. He's been with the White Sox since 1962. Well, he pitched 18 innings in 1961. He came up for good for the White Sox in 1962. So he had been around a while. He has a lifetime record of 115 and 124. Bases loaded. 1 out. Here is Chuck Hinton, who is 0 for 2 today. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Another swing and a miss. Strike 2. Strike 3. He swung at that one, came up empty. 1 out. 2 outs. Here's Fred Stanley, who's 0 for 2. Has a pair of ground outs. Caught the corner. Strike 1. Grounder down the first base line. That's foul. Base hit in the left field. Nettles scores. Excuse me. Foster scores. Chambliss stops at second. It's 8-2. And here's Ted Uhlaender. He's 1 for 1. He walked and he singled. Inside, ball 1. Caught the corner. Strike 1. Ball 2. Ball 3. Uhlaender checked his swing. Didn't go around. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Full count. 2 outs. 2 runners on. The payoff pitch. Ball 4. And that'll load the bases. Pinch hitting for Vince Colbert is Vada Pinson. Vada Pinson, he has demanded a trade, and the Indians' newly reinstated general manager Gabe Paul said he will try to accommodate him as long as they could get a decent trade for him. It was rumored that he was going to be traded to California during spring training for Andy Messersmith, but then the Indians wanted Tom Murphy included in the deal, and it fell through. Pinson is hitting .265, 10 home runs, 38 runs batted in. He has an 8-game hitting streak. He's 1 for 3 as a pinch hitter. He's hitting .400 in August. Ball one. It's a bouncer to third. Melton up with it. Throw to first. Bang, bang play. In time, they got Pinson. But the Indians get 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. They left 3 men on base. We played 6 in Cleveland. It is Chicago 8, Cleveland 2. Coming in to pitch for Cleveland is Ed Farmer. He's making his 31st appearance of the year. He has a record of 3-3 with 2 saves. ERA of 5.32. He has 44 walks and 45 strikeouts. Steve Huntz leads off. He walked and he was safe on an error. And it was also scored as a sacrifice, so he still does not have an official at-bat as a member of the White Sox. The 2-1 pitch. Grounder to second. Camilli is up with it. Throws him out. 1 out. Here's Ed Herman. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out in the second. Walked in the fourth. Walked in the sixth. And that scored Rick Reichert. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball in the right field. Foster drifting back at the wall, and he's got it. 2 outs. Here's Joe Horland. He's hitting .098. 4 home run, or 4 for 41 this year. He has 1 RBI. The 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Nothing across for Chicago in the top of the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It is Chicago 8, Cleveland 2. Take a look around the league. Top of the 7th in Cincinnati. The Reds lead the Pirates 3-2. That is still Keeson against Nolan. Top of the 9th in Milwaukee. Tigers lead the Brewers 5-1. Ike Brown is 3 for 3. That's Luke Cross against Fred Sherman. And bottom of the 4th at Wrigley Field, the Astros lead the Cubs 3-1. That is Jim Ray against Milt Pappas. Frank Baker leads off for the Indians in the bottom of the 7th. He is 0 for 2. He had a ground out, a walk, and a strikeout. The 1-2 pitch. Bouncer to third. Melton has it, throws him out. 1 out. Here's Lou Camilli. He's 0 for 3 today. The 2-0 pitch. Another grounder to third. Melton throws him out. 2 outs. Here's Greg Nettles. He's 1 for 3. He singled in the 6th. The 2-0 pitch. Base hit in the gap, all the way to the wall. Nettles with a stand-up double. That got past Reichert. That's his 15th double of the year. Here's Roy Foster. He's 0 for 2. He had a flyout, a pop-out, and a walk. Sitting 178 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. And 176 in August. Ball 1. Inside, ball 2. Too high, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Ball 4. He was taken all the way on that one. Runners on first and second. 2 outs. Here's Chris Chambliss. He's 2 for 3 today. He struck out in the first. He doubled in the fourth. And he singled in the sixth. Maybe looking at the Rookie of the Year for 1971. Rookie of the Year in the National League. That's probably going to come down close between Willie Montanez, Ralph Garr, and Earl Williams. Got the inside corner, strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Count is 1-2, 2 outs. Chambliss hits base hit up the middle. Nettles rounds third. He'll score. It's 8-3. Here's Chuck Hinton. He's 0 for 3 today. He struck out twice and he flied out. Chuck Hinton, he got his start in 1961 with the expansion Washington Senators. He's 37. He's been around a while. Played for Washington, then came to Cleveland, then went to the California Angels. And the Indians reacquired him in 1969. After he spent 1968 in Anaheim. It's fly ball in the left field. Reichert is after it. It's down the line. Reichert at the wall, but it's out of play. Foul ball. The 0-2 pitch. In the dirt. Ball 1. Another fly ball down the left field line. Reichert's after it. But that makes the seats. Count remains 1-2. Strike 3 called. That's the 3rd time Hinton struck out today. The Indians get 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. They left 2 men on base. We played 7. It is Chicago 8, Cleveland 3. Chicago's big inning was the 6th. They scored 6 runs. Let's see. First run was forced in by a walk. Second run was scored on a fielder's choice. No, first 2 runs were scored on walks, then a fielder's choice. Then another fielder's choice and a sacrifice. So they did not hit the ball hard at all in the 6th inning, but they scored 6 runs. Leading off for Chicago in the 8th will be Carlos May. He's 2 for 4. He singled in the first, doubled in the 3rd, grounded out in the 5th, and grounded into a fielder's choice in the 6th, and that scored Steve Huntz. That was the 3rd run of the 6-run Chicago 6th. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball. He hits a fly ball in the right field. Foster at the wall, and that's gone. That is home run number 11 for Carlos May. It's 9-3. Here is Walt Williams. He's 1 for 2. He was safe on an error that scored a run in the first. He sacrificed in the third, singled in the fifth, and walked in the sixth. And that forced in Chicago's sixth run. That made it 6-0 Chicago. That was the fourth run of the 6-run sixth inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a liner to second. Camilli leaps. What a catch by Camilli. 1 out. Here's Mike Andrews. He's 1 for 3. He singled in the first. Hit a sacrifice fly in the third. Flied out in the fifth. And he grounded into a fielder's choice. That scored a run in the sixth. That scored the fifth run of the 6 runs that inning. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball to center field. Uhlaender going back. That's gone. Home run number 4 for Andrews. That went 418 feet, making the bleachers. It's 10-3. Here's Bill Melton. He is 1 for 3. He singled, flied out, lined out, and hit a sacrifice fly. That scored the 6th run of the White Sox 6th inning. The 1-2 pitch. Fly ball in the left field. Baker going back. That's gone. Home run, third home run this inning, second in a row for Chicago. It's 11-3. And it is just all coming apart for Cleveland now. Here's Rick Reichard. He's 2 for 4. He has a pair of strikeouts and a pair of singles. The 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Mark Ballinger gets up to warm up. Jay Johnstone, he's 1 for 4 today. That was high and outside, barely. Strike or ball 1. Jay Johnstone has a single today. Ball 2. Ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Ball 4. He walked on 4 pitches. Here comes Johnny LaPone, and that'll be all for Ed Farmer. Mark Ballinger coming in to pitch. Ballinger was an emergency call-up from Jacksonville where he didn't have a good won-loss record there, but he had an excellent ERA. He was called up when Steve McGorry had his jaw broken. Ballinger's making his 7th appearance. He has a record of 1-0 with an ERA of 2.25. He gave up a home run to Bill Melton last night. 8 innings pitched. He's given up 4 hits. He hasn't walked anybody, and he has struck out 6. Here's Steve Hunts, who's 0 for 1. Ball 1. Ball 2. Fouls it back. Ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. Hits fly ball to right field. Foster drifting back. He's got it. 2 outs. And the runners hold. Here's Ed Herman. He's 0 for 2. Grounded out in the second. Walked in the fourth. Walked in the sixth. That forced in a run. And flied out in the seventh. Strike one called. Ball one. Right down the middle of the plate. Strike two. Ball two. Ball three. Full count. 2 outs. Ball four. It's the first major league walk he's given up. Here's the pitcher, Joe Harlan. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in the 7th. Ball one. Swing and a miss. Strike one. Across the knee. Strike two. High and inside. Ball two. It's grounder to second. Camilli to Stanley at second. 3 outs. But the White Sox get 3 runs on 3 hits, 3 solo home runs, no errors. They left 2 men on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It is Chicago 11, Cleveland 3. Fred Stanley leads off for Cleveland in the 8th. He is 1 for 3. He singled in the 6th, and that drove in a run. The 1-2 pitch. It's a liner to third, but that's right at Melton. 1 out. Here's Ted Uhlaender. He's 1 for 1. He walked, singled, and walked. The 2-1 pitch. Base hit in the left field. Riker tosses it back in. Pinch hitting for Bellinger is John Lowenstein. John Lowenstein is hitting .133, 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. He was called back up from Wichita after Jack Heidemann underwent knee surgery. Lowenstein was sent back down in the middle of June, and then came back up after, like I said, Lowenstein, or after Heidemann's knee surgery. Lowenstein, he is hitting .167 with 1 RBI as a pinch hitter. It's bouncer to second. Andrews to second for 1. No throw to first. Uhlaender took Hunts out. 2 outs. Runner on first. And here's Frank Baker, who's 0 for 3 today. Fly ball down the left field line. Reichert's after it, but it makes the seats. Baker hits base hit in the left field. That gets all the way to the wall. Baker goes for second. He slides. He's safe. So we have runners at second and third. 2 outs. And here's Lou Camilli, who's 0 for 4 today. Strike one called. Ball one. Inside, ball two. It's grounder to short. Hunts up with it. Throw to first. 3 outs. No runs. 2 hits, no errors. 2 left. We played 8 innings in Cleveland. It is Chicago 11, Cleveland 3. John Lowenstein will remain in the game at second base. And the new pitcher is Phil Hennigan. Hennigan's making his 39th appearance of the season. He has a record of 2-2 with 8 saves, ERA of 5.34. He's pitched 55 and 2/3 innings. He's given up 48 hits. 6 of those were home runs. He has walked 44, struck out 52. And leading off in the ninth is Carlos May. He is 3 for 5. Out on the West Coast, the Oakland is underway against Boston. No score in the first inning. I thought about using that as a game of the week, but I thought this would be a better game because this is both Cleveland Indians baseball and the game of the weekend. I probably miscalculated. This year's been kind of tough picking out games of the week because I like to pick out games that have to do with the pennant races. And this game obviously does. And right now there's only one close race. And then if there's no games with pennant implications, I'll try to go with a game with like a really good pitching matchup, and I didn't see any for today. May is 3 for 5. He singled in the first, doubled in the third, grounded out in the fifth. Grounded to the pitcher, but that was with the bases loaded, and it was a slow enough grounder that Steve Hunt was able to score, and he hit a solo home run in the eighth, so he needs a triple for the cycle. The 1-0 pitch. Grounder to second. Lowenstein's up with it. Throw to first. 1 out. Lowenstein remains in the ninth spot in the order, and Hennigan will bat in the second spot. Here's Walt Williams. He's 1 for 3. He was safe on an error that scored a run. Had a sacrifice bunt. Singled. Walked that scored a run. And lined out. He's had a good day today. The 1-1 pitch. Fly ball down the right field line. Foster's after it, but that makes the seats. Ball 4. Hennigan throws some heat. He's like Steve Dunning. He just needs to harness his control. Here's Mike Andrews. He's 2 for 4. And a single, a sacrifice fly, a fly out. Grounded into a fielder's choice that scored a run, and he had a solo home run in the eighth. He has 3 runs batted in today. Bouncer to short. Stanley that only plays the first. 2 outs. Williams takes second. Here's Bill Melton. He's 2 for 4. He singled, had a sacrifice fly, and he had a solo home run in the eighth. High and outside. Ball 1. Just off the ground. Ball 2. Caught the outside half of the plate. Strike 1. Base hit in a left field. Williams rounds third. He'll score. Stanley got a poor jump on that one. That's the third hit of the game for Melton. Here's Rick Reichert. He's 2 for 4. Pair of strikeouts. Then a single in the sixth. 2 singles in the sixth. When the White Sox batted around, and he walked in the eighth. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Ball 1. It's fly ball in left field. Baker's there. He's got it. 3 outs. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the ninth. It is Chicago 12, Cleveland 3. Nettles leads off for Cleveland. He's 2 for 4. Singled in the 6th and doubled in the 7th. The 2-2 pitch. Grounder up the middle. Andrews to his right. Backhands it. Throws him out. 1 out. Here's Roy Foster. He's 0 for 2. He has a pair of walks today. Base hit in center field. Here's Chris Chambliss. He's 3 for 4 today. Doubled in the 4th. He singled in the 6th. And he singled in the 7th. That drove in a run. Check the swing. That's called a strike. Too high, ball 1. In the dirt, ball 2. Swing and a miss, strike 2. That's way over Herman's head, all the way to the backstop. Foster takes second on the wild pitch. Liner down the first base line. That's foul. Grounder to first. May has it. He'll take it himself. 2 outs. Indians are down to their last out. Here is Chuck Hinton. He's 0 for 4. He has struck out 3 times today. 2 high, ball 1. It's fly ball. Pop up on the infield. Melton has it. That's the game. Chicago wins it 12 to 3. Chicago had 12 runs, 12 hits, no errors. While Cleveland had 3 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. Jim Magnuson got the win. He's 1 and 2, while Ray Lamb took the loss. He is 2 and 11. For some reason, the game has awarded Joe Horland a save. Chicago scored 3 unearned runs. They had 3 solo home runs. 3 of their runs were forced in with bases loaded walks. Indians pitchers had a lot of trouble with their control today. 208 pitches. They threw 120 strikes and 88 balls. So none of their pitchers looked especially good today. They had 5 pitchers go out. Ray Lamb, Vince Colbert, Ed Farmer, Mark Ballinger, and Phil Hennigan. Star of the game was Bill Melton. White Sox left 11 men on base. Cleveland left 12 men on base. And a report from the clubhouse is that Rich Morales will be day-to-day. Tomorrow will be the final game of this series. And the projected pitchers are Wilbur Wood for Chicago and Steve Dunning for Cleveland. Once again, our final score here today was Chicago 12, Cleveland 3. Hope you enjoyed this blowout. Not really sure if I did, but it was decent. As a Cleveland fan, in 1971, I would have been rooting for Chicago over Oakland in the West. So I guess there's a silver lining there. But once again, final score Chicago 12, Cleveland 3. Thank you for watching.